Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video.
And pressure, right? It's interesting to think about that, because the meaning that in the presence of our Heavenly Father, we still have agency, right? Have to be. Otherwise, how would you have this division pop up even there? And so, but see what Father did. He didn't tolerate it. He cast them out. After a period, he cast them out. And I have a feeling the same thing is going to happen in the church here on the earth today. There'll be a period, the law is being tolerated, then there's going to be a casting out. I think there's going to be a self-casting out first before there's an actual casting out. I think most of that will come as we will do too when we face our judgment, as we know which kingdom we feel comfortable in, and we decide where we want to go. It's all agency based, and we won't choose anything higher because we know we can't. We won't feel comfortable there. So let's keep going here. She's laying this out. She's nailing this right now on the division. Divide by race, divide by culture, right? Just divide and you can conquer. Walter, go ahead.
Being pushed while people are divided. Because that's really the agenda. In 1906, when this divide and rule and apartheid was being put in place, apartheid hadn't been named apartheid then. It was only named as a system in 1948. But in 1906, the British wanted to turn Indians in South Africa into second-class citizens. So they wrote an Indian Act. And Indians had to register on race, and they had to carry their identities all the time. And a lot of what's happening right now in India around this identity issue is related to that history of the Satyagraha. But most importantly, any police officer could enter your house at any time and demand your papers. You couldn't trade locally, you couldn't practice professions. And so the people said, we would rather die. This refusal to cooperate with unjust law is what Gandhi called Satyagraha, as a duty of truth. He was inspired by Thoreau, who refused to pay the poll tax here against the slave system. He inspired Martin Luther King. And the civil rights movement is very much inspired by Gandhi. But it is when King started to take up the economic justice and economic equality issues, that's when he was assassinated. Because the part is, you can talk in very sweet ways about civil liberties, but you don't touch economic justice. And the economy is, for me, it's a double violence, because the origin of the word, the meaning of the word economy, comes from oikos, our home. The Aristotelian name is oikonomia, the art of living. And when you turn the art of living into the art of money-making, which Aristotle called chrematistics, then you have to practice violence against the earth and violence against others, destroy their livelihoods, destroy their freedoms, take away their resources. So the violence is multiple. And I look into the future.
Okay, let's stop there for a minute. Let's break that down. Okay, so what she's saying basically is in the idea of a free market economy too, right? That it's violent because competition is violent. What's what she's saying, where competition really breeds excellence. You take competition out, then we do not continue to grow like we've grown over the last couple hundred years. Competition is actually a very good thing. And I see we take that out of our youth sports as well anymore, especially when they're little. We don't have winners and losers. Everybody wins, everybody gets a trophy. And that's really bogus, man, because all we're doing is preparing them to just be themselves and not push themselves, not compete. Now, I'm not saying that we compete at everything. We have to be mature about it. Stoic is the word I like to use here. But we need to be wise and responsible in our competition. And I'm not saying we be cutthroat. We have to have ethics in there. Therefore, when we would lay out a Judean Christian free market economy like we had here in the United States for 200 years, you lay out nearly the perfect formula. The only problem is that it's governed by man, right? So when it's governed by the Lord, when he takes his seat in Zion, then you'll begin to see a perfect government and a perfect economy, if you will. Now, will we as people run that machine perfectly? I doubt that. But the system will be set up right, and it will be very just because everybody under that tent of Zion, I'm not talking about in the stakes of Zion, because that's not the promise that was there. Could be, but I don't see how it can be. But under the tent of Zion, because everybody's uniting right now under that constitution, as Brigham Young said, would be the filter. And that brings everybody to one united togetherness. That brings back the masses, the people that we're going to need to come together with to be able to fight this big machine that she's laying out right now. And that's the fear that's going to be, she's going to lay out here is if you do not come together and accept this whole climate change 2030 agenda, right? She's putting it out there. She's laying it there like, oh, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy, right? But at the same time, what she's offering is, hey, we need to come together, be unified, and we need to be willing to make all these sacrifices. The only way we unify is by giving up what we fight for. And we're doing that as a society and as a church. And for that consequence, we're being overrun, as Lehi said would happen to us. Book of Mormon prophesied of this more than one occasion. What's taking place to us today. So what she's laying out here as good, clean competition. Now, we have who she's showing here, though, right? Walmart, McDonald's, you got the gas industry, Amazon, with dollar being king, you got the hippie movement there. I like that she got that in now, but I don't know if that's her necessarily or that's the actual artist drawing and putting in his interpretations of what she's saying. Because I don't think she's calling this out. You even got 5G in there. The artistry details everything is taking place right now. And that's what's upon us now, right? The chaos does come when you have these corporate greed that are involved with the government, which is really fascism at the end of the day. It's a new style and type of fascism, but that entails the picture what we're seeing right now. Okay, so if she's meaning that, great. But if you listen to the rest, I don't think she's quite meaning that. Let's go ahead, Walter, carry on so we can finish this.
Why are we building detention centers everywhere in India, along the border of Mexico? Because I feel that if we don't activate our sense of interconnectedness with all life, with all people, if we don't start sowing the seeds of what I have called earth democracy, we are going to see 99% people as disposable, especially with the tech working on artificial intelligence, to make sure all the mechanical work is made redundant, whether it be in radiography or law or whatever. Mechanical work will be substituted.
I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.